Hi everyone and welcome back to the Brick Pods. This week's live stream was set 40222, the 24-in-1 Christmas build-up. If you missed that, then you can check this episode out where we will be going through that slightly faster with a little bit less chit-chat. Now, we thought about both building the same models and having a bit of a race, but Ian and I are both very competitive and it gets a bit nasty, so we figured that was probably not the best idea. And also, as there's 24 builds to make, we figured we'd just try and get through them. What you can't see, probably, is this small bit of text up here that says models cannot be built at the same time, so we had to destroy them as we went and rebuild because we needed the pieces again, which is a little disappointing, especially as I think maybe if you were doing this like one a day, you'd be less upset about it, but building them and then immediately taking them apart again was hard to do. It felt wrong on many levels. But there's 24 builds in here, and we'll go through them all and see what we thought of them. Okay, so we've got a little sailboat here. This is the first build that in the set actually, so it starts off pretty simple. But it looks like a pretty decent sailboat. Probably a bit too big for a minifigure to actually play with, but a decent display piece. Okay, so this one looks like a reindeer to me. I don't really like the face. I mean, these eyes always make things look a bit goofy, but the mouth is a bit too straight across for my liking. Decent sort of legs with the arch pieces, bit of a short tail there. It's a very tall reindeer in relation to a minifigure. Maybe you could use him as a statue or something. And I'm not sure about his colouring. I feel like maybe he's too light for a reindeer. I feel like they should be a lot darker and a lot less grey. Recognisable at least, and I guess a festive build. Okay, so this one's a giant Christmas present. Pretty large, especially if you put it next to a minifigure. I mean, look at the size of that thing. So who knows what's in that box. Quite a nice festive build. Quite like the ribbons, or the bow at the top and the ribbons on the side. Yeah, quite blocky, but it's obvious what it is, so not a bad build. Okay, so this is a slightly less festive one. We've got a monkey, I think. Kind of a very monkey face. Although I'm not so sure about the tail being very monkey. But not too bad. I mean, these are more imaginative than I would achieve just using my my creative ability. But they don't look great, do they? They're not very realistic, and they're very blocky. But it is a small gift with purchase, so I think this is not too bad. Okay, again we've got something less festive, but it's like a little toy truck. Well, just a truck, I guess. It has these plates on the bottom so it can stick to a base plate because the wheels would get in the way otherwise. It's pretty simple, not all that exciting. It's the only build that uses these yellow pieces as well, so Okay, we've got a little fireplace here, little fire inside, maybe a little plant on the mantle, and then a stocking hanging on the chimney. I can't say I've ever hung my stockings on the chimney. I always put it on this part, and I'm not overly happy about the stocking shape. It's a very basic stocking, but the fireplace itself is quite attractive, with sort of the brick element as well on the sides and at the back. It's one of the larger builds, I think. So this one's a small toy plane. I think this is quite obvious what it is. Nice little build. Maybe a little too large for a sort of minifigures toy. But maybe you could have it off in the distance in a city or something as a very, very far away plane. Okay, and we have another random animal here. Maybe a mouse, maybe a squirrel, maybe? I mean, it's not clear to me. They're a bit cheeky because they're winking. I'm not sure because they're sort of stood upright. So they've got feet at the bottom, hands at the side, so that's what makes me think squirrel, but yeah, I've no idea. So again, let me know in the comments if you recognise this animal, because I'm not entirely sure. So this one's a candy cane. It's a little unusual having green in a candy cane, but it makes it look pretty festive, and maybe this is like a little bow tied around it. This was definitely one of the simpler builds and fewer pieces. I only got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 pieces in this build. But yeah, not too bad. So I think this one is a bear. He's pretty simple. He's got sort of a little bear tail at the back. I didn't recognise this as a bear. This is Ian said that it was a bear. So again, another non-Christmassy one. Or unless it's a Christmassy bear, I don't know. Do you get bears at Christmas? I guess they might celebrate Christmas. Not my favourite build. So this is a nice mini Christmas tree here. Good colour variation in the baubles. If you've checked out our Winter Village playlist, you'll know that I'm always keen to have different colours on the tree, as much variation as possible. And I'm used to building Christmas trees from the fact that we have so many Winter Village sets as well. So this was quite an easy build for me. But yeah, a nice one and Christmassy. Okay, so I think this is a micro scale house, maybe? It's got a little street light here, a couple of stories to the building, nice red roof, and maybe like a little porch here as well, little path, some trees. Maybe this is a carport actually, because that's clearly the path there in the front door, isn't it? Little veranda and a nice chimney as well. Quite a sweet build. Not very Christmassy though. So we've got a teeny tiny robot build. Pretty simple again. They're all pretty simple, I keep saying that. I quite like the colouring on this one, blue and red. And he seems quite sweet, but nothing too exciting. Okay, so here we have a bridge, we think it might be. There's definitely water, maybe a bird, duck or something. And then there's a hole through it, so it looks like a bridge. I don't think it's a castle. Maybe a little road across and some flowers. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what it's meant to be, apart from it looks like a bridge to me. But it's not a nice, not a bad build. It's again another micro scale build. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this is meant to be. We're thinking maybe a raccoon of some descript or some sort of animal. Well, it's definitely an animal, but it's not a recognisable animal to us. So I don't know. If you know what this is, let me know in the comments. It's quite a nice little build though. Quite like his little legs. and the sort of whiskers. And these eye pieces are slightly more exciting than the normal eyes. I don't know, it makes them look a little sleepy or happy maybe, I don't know, like they're grinning. But yeah, he's alright. Okay, we got a little tiny train. Well, not so tiny, I guess. I've seen smaller in the Winter Village sets. It's got some sort of smoke coming out the chimney here. Little carriage, or cab for the driver to sit in. I'm wondering whether these are trees, Christmas trees. It's like transporting Christmas trees, or whether that's meant to be the carriage. I don't know. It doesn't seem very carriagey to me. It definitely looks more Christmas tree. So I'm guessing it's a Christmas train. But yeah, pretty simple. Nice little build. Okay, this is one of the more exciting builds. It's a castle. I think it's a really cute Microscope Castle. I think this is possibly one of my favourites. A little bit of water there, a couple of trees, some grand steps up, and then lots of sort of turrets and things. So yeah, it's pretty decent build. This was one that Ian got to build, so but yeah, I like it. Now this one, I'm not entirely sure what it is. I think it might be like a little girl. So this is her little skirt here, or dress, and those are her arms, little shoes, and that's her mouth. She's quite a funny looking thing, and then maybe some pigtails on the side, a little hat. Yeah, it's not overly obvious, is it? Oh, she's alive. But they used up quite a lot of the red pieces. That I'm not sure why else they were in the set. There's sort of quite a lot of red pieces that are in Santa, I guess, and they needed to reuse them. So, yeah. Okay, I'd say this is probably the most lame of the builds in my mind. I mean, it's just a truck, isn't it? But I just don't think it's a very good one. It's too small and far too simple a build. So, and not even nice colours either. Bit of a grey truck, and this trans plate at the bottom annoys me because it means the wheels don't touch the ground. But then without that, you can't actually attach it onto like a base plate because the wheels are then too far down. So yeah, my least favourite. Okay, so we have a dragon here. Maybe a Christmas dragon? No, it's not very Christmassy at all. But it is a good build. I think this was our favourite on the live stream. So he's pretty decent. He looks pretty cute as well. I quite like his mouth. And he's got some good spikes on the back there. And a nice yellow belly as well. I like his yellow belly. But yeah, I think this is probably my favourite one in the whole set. Okay, so we've got a little sleigh here with a couple of presents inside. Again, I mean, most of these builds are quite basic builds. That's kind of the point. So they're not anything fancy, but this one at least is obvious what it is. And again, it's quite a festive one. Maybe you could have had a bit more colour in the presents, but again, they're trying to reuse the pieces. Okay, we've got some birds. And I'm a bit disappointed that we don't have a robin, if I'm honest, given it's a Christmas set. That wouldn't have been that hard to do, replacing sort of the pieces with brown on the sides and red at the front. Yeah, so there's two of the birds, exactly the same sort of method to build them. But one's black with a little blue tail. And I've seen these in other Lego sets before, some of the creator sets, the 3-in-1s. Have bird builds, so I'm quite used to the technique. I think they definitely had to include 2 because one would have been far too basic a build. So next up we have a snowman. If you joined our live stream, you would have heard Ian refer to this as Pingu, or a penguin, because he wasn't paying attention to the picture on the box. I think it's definitely meant to be a snowman. He's got quite puffy cheeks going on for a snowman, and the carrot is what makes him look more pingu-y, I think, to us. I also think his eyes being at an angle, it's a little bit strange, and it kind of makes him look like he's got sort of a pair of shades on. But he's not too bad. He's got no arms, so no waving. Okay, and the last model is Santa himself. So this is definitely a festive one. He's a pretty decent Santa. He's got a little small on the torso though. His belt takes up most of him, and his legs. Maybe I guess he's being hidden by his beard. Little arms are quite cute. Could do with a bobble on his hat, I kind of feel, but otherwise he's pretty good. And he comes with quite a good arrangement of presents. They're all pretty simple builds, just sort of one block and something on top, or plates. But there's 5 presents, so that's 5 happy people. I normally like to end my videos with a view of what I've built while I sum it up, but I just hammer home again that you can't build all of these models at once, so I can't have them all around me while I talk about this, because I've had to destroy half of them. I think it was a fun thing to build. I think it was disappointing to have to rebuild things straight away. I would definitely recommend, if you're going to do this, then to use it as an advent calendar and do 1 build a day and not have to keep destroying them instantly. I don't know really what you would do with the models afterwards. They're not the right sort of scale to include in a Lego city, most of them. They're quite nice display pieces, but again, you can't display them all at the same time. So yeah, advent calendar is probably the way to go. Let me know what you thought of this set in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an update, and hopefully we'll catch you on another of our live streams soon. Next week we'll be doing the 40416 set, the ice skating rink, that's the current gift with purchase on lego.com. See you later!